Okay, so start on your mat with your legs slightly open. I'm talking a couple of inches. Okay, arms in front, and we're just coming all the way forward, taking a nice big breath out, and then restacking all the way back up to tall. So exhale, we come down. Inhale, we restack. Remember, you can have a bend in those knees if you want. Taking some time to warm up behind the legs and the back. Restack that spine, open those legs the width of the mat for me. If you can, flex your feet so you can see that your toes are pointing to the ceiling. And we're going to inhale, twist over the left leg and then come down. Twist over to the right. So we're just going side to side, just warming up the sides of the body. Last one. And release, just come back up, roll those shoulders, we've warmed those legs up. Brilliant. Have your arms in your genie position, so one arm on top of the other. We're going to inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, centre, and then to the right. Now I want you to keep that nice straight back and imagine you're just twisting your shirt as if you're showing somebody the logo. So it's just the top half of that shirt we're twisting. And release. We're now going to have the arms out to the side. Imagine you're hugging a big beach ball and we're just changing the way our breathing works. So we're going to take a big breath in, and as we go to the left, we pulse twice. Inhale, middle, then to the other side. Inhale, middle. So this is just really getting our tummy muscles working. Again, thinking about keeping that pelvis nice and neutral. We're not letting it move side to side. Last one to the right. Arms in front and just do your spine stretch, just leaning forward, release that tension out the shoulders. And restack back up. Perfect. So from here we're going to go back to our saw movement. So we're having arms in our genie position. We're going to inhale to the left. Right hand comes forward, left arm goes back if you want, and you lean down. And then you twist up, go to the right, and come down. So we do our modification here if you want. You can keep that back arm in the bent position. If that's easier for you, you can, like I said, open both arms out. And then if you really want to go a little bit harder than that, you're going to actually take that front hand and take it over the opposite foot, as if sawing off that leg. That's where that name comes from. Just a couple more each side. And release for me. Perfect. So from there, we're just going to come and lie down on our back, feet on the floor, knees bent, and we're just going to go through our pelvic tilts again. Just now that we've warmed up all those lovely muscles down the back, we want to give that pelvis a bit of love as well. So pelvis is o'clock, belly button is 6 o'clock, groin is 12. So we're just pushing down to 6, arching up to 12. So 6 and 12. And everybody finds 6 o'clock a bit easier, so we really want to make sure we're arching to our 12 o'clock, making that lovely space underneath. And then when you're ready, come into that neutral so you've got a small gap underneath that back. Arms are going to gently press down into the floor as we begin our bridges. So take a big breath in. Exhale, push to 6 o'clock. Slowly lift the bum up. Middle back, upper back, so you're in that lovely diagonal line. Take a big breath in. And exhale, roll down, top, middle and bottom. Beautiful. Inhale here. And then exhale, roll down on the back, pushing the bottom up. Coming up to the top. Big breath in and exhale, rolling down. So just keep going through that motion for now, making sure you're going up and down the back. And do this last one for me. Rolling down, meet me at the bottom and then just rock the knees side to side. Release any tension in the bottom of that back. You might get a bit of a crack in the back and that's fine. Oh, my back's cracking all over the place as usual. Bring the feet back onto the floor again, nice and straight. We're in our neutral spine. We're now going to add the arms into this. So we're going to take a big breath in. Exhale, push the back down, slowly lift the bottom, middle back, upper back. Arms come up and over. Exhale, roll down. Last thing to come over will be the arms. And then again, back comes down, bottom lifts, we roll up, arms come up and over. And then we begin to roll down. Now something to be mindful of here is if as you've got your arms over, you can't roll down that spine, just bring the arms a little bit higher. We don't want to sacrifice that spine and that lovely C curve and that movement for the arms coming over the head. And again, just hold at the bottom for me, just rocking knees side to side. Perfect. We're in that neutral spine again, but we're now just going to go into some of our core moves. So if you can, push your back onto the floor as you lift your legs up. We're going into our tabletop position, knees are over the hips. And what I'd like you to do is slowly tap the right foot down, bring it up, and then the left foot. So we're just doing our toe taps. Remember, you don't have to go all the way down. We're trying to keep that powerhouse nice and connected. We're working it. Perfect. Hold at the top for me, just hook the knees into the chest, rock side to side, give that bottom bit of back a bit of love. And then come again into your tabletop position. This time let's try and lift the arms to the ceiling, take away a layer of stability. So we're going to tap the left foot down as the right arm comes behind and lift everything back to centre. Inhale, tap. Exhale, back up. And again, you can just move the arm and the leg just a little bit. It doesn't have to be too far. Just keep that movement going. Last one. And again, hugging knees in. Just rocking back side to side. From there, let's hook the right leg into the chest. Left leg can go to the ceiling or to 45 degrees in front. If you want, you can lift your head and chest up. Just make sure that you've got no tension in that neck. Elbows out to the side. We're going to inhale, switch legs. Exhale, switch legs. So we're moving nice and slow. Making sure we're not wobbling around. Make sure we're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Hook both knees in for me. Just relax the head down if you had it lifted, just to make sure we're not jamming into the neck. And this time we're going to do our double leg stretch. So if you can, we're going to hold a little bit further down with the elbows out. Head and shoulders can stay down or they can lift. Again, it's up to you. We're going to inhale and take those legs out, either to the ceiling or 45 degrees in front. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, they go out. Exhale, hug in. If you'd like another layer to this exercise, feel free as the legs go out for the arms to come back. And then exhale, hug in. Inhale out. Exhale in. And relax again, head comes down, you can rock side to side. Whatever makes that back feel good. Okay, we're going to move on to our third series of 5. So we're going to reach the right leg up. It can have a slight bend in the knee if you need to. Grab behind the thigh. Okay, left leg 45 degrees for beginners, just off the floor for more advanced. And again, you can lift head and chest up if you want. If you've got the flexibility, you can grab higher and have, calf or ankle, that's your choice. So we're going to inhale, pull back on that right leg twice. Switch, exhale, pull back. So again, nice and slow. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Last one each side. Hook the knees in, just let that head come down and those shoulders, again, rocking side to side. Perfect. We're going to glue those legs together now, nice and high. Again, you can have a small bend in the knee if you need to. We're going to interlink the fingers, bring them behind the back of the head, and if we can, lift up for me to look at those knees. Now make sure you can still see your elbows in your peripheral vision, but we're not hugging them in so tight that you can't see outside of the elbows. From there, inhale, lower the legs a couple of inches. Exhale, bring it back up. Inhale, we come down slightly. Exhale, back up. Now if you want, you can inhale and come down a bit further, but we make sure we keep a supported spine. We're not letting that back arch off. 2 more, inhale down. Exhale up. Last one, inhale down. Exhale up, bend the knees into tabletop, hold here. I'd like you to inhale and twist your upper body to the left and extend your right leg forward. Inhale middle, exhale over to the right, left leg comes forward. And remember, we're aiming armpit to knee. The leg that's in our tabletop position stays in our tabletop position. We're not bringing it any closer. And release. Perfect. You weren't expecting a series of 5, were you? Perfect. From there, just come and switch round so you're on your tummy for me. We're going to look a little bit at some back movements. So what we're going to do is have our legs pointing towards the wall behind. And you've got a couple of choices here. Now, I like my legs slightly externally rotated, and what I mean by that, it's like our Pilates V. You're basically rotating in the hip, so the knee joint's pointing outwards slightly, and think of it as big toe down, little toe facing up. So I just rotate my legs ever so slightly, so instead of going parallel, they come out. But it's really up to your back. If you prefer them just pointing straight back, that's fine. But you know my pet peeve, I don't like lazy feet. I don't want them toes facing in, heels facing out, because that's not good for you. From there, we're going to have our hands either underneath our shoulders or next to our head. Your choice on where's comfortable for you. And we're just going to look at some extension of that spine. So we're going to have our forehead down. As we inhale, we're going to lift the head, lift the chest, still looking at our mat, and then exhale, come down. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we come down. Now, I really want you to feel like you're pushing, or shall I say, pulling your hands on that mat a little bit, as if you're trying to pull yourself across your mat, because that's really going to give you that lift to come up and come back down again. If you want, you can come out of that little turtle shell, as I say, head comes forward and up, and you could take the hands off the mat, squeeze elbows behind, and come back down. 2 more, we lift, and lower. Last one, we lift and lower. Release a second, give those hips a little bit of a wiggle side to side. From there, you can bring your arms in front of you to use it as a pillow, so that you can put your forehead on your hands or your arms. I'm just going to keep my head lifted so I can see what you guys are doing. From there, we're going to inhale and lift our right leg up, keeping the hip bone down. And then exhale down, and we switch sides. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Really thinking about engaging our hamstring, our calf, our glute muscles. Trying where possible to keep the upper body quiet. We want to try and just do this with the bottom half of our powerhouse, so bottom, back, glutes and legs. Perfect. And relax again, giving those hips a little bit of a wiggle. We're going to look at putting the two together. So if you have any lower back issues and you think to yourself halfway through this, actually this is becoming a little bit uncomfortable, what I'd like you to do is one lift of the head and the chest, then lift one leg, then the other. Does that make sense? So we're going around in a little circle, chest, left leg, right leg. But if you can, lift head and chest up, lift one leg, squeeze shoulders and elbows behind, and then slowly come down. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, come down. So just keep going with that. Inhale up, exhale down. We should really start to feel this in the back, but you also want to be using your tummy muscles to help you lift and lower. One more each side. Last one. And release. Give those hips a little bit of a wiggle for me. Okay, we're going to put our hands back in front again, so we're using them as a pillow. And we're now going to have a look at lifting and lowering both legs at the same time. So again, variation here is you can carry on just lifting and lowering one leg at a time. But if you can, let's have a look at lifting both legs up, lowering both down with control. Again, trying to keep our upper body quiet. We don't want to be using all the upper body muscles to try and lift the leg muscles. So inhale up, exhale down. Can we hold the legs at the top? Can we beat the heels together, little beats here? Hold. Can we do some individual circles with those legs? So the feet are coming together and then out. Together, out. And then change direction. Hold. Bend the knees, put the heels together, knees wide on that mat so we're in our frog position. Keep those heels together, flex those feet for me, and I want you to imagine that you're trying to touch the ceiling with your feet. So we're going to inhale, lift the knees up, exhale, lower. Now some people can't do this just due to lower back problems, and that's fine. Just take this one out. We don't want to feel any pain in that lower back. What we want to be doing is squeezing heels together, squeezing glutes. Hold at the top if you can. Click those heels together again. Little clicks. And relax for me. Push up and over into your rest position. If you can, knees together, feet together, we'll go for our traditional rest position, and this is going to actually open up the bottom of that back. If you need to have your knees open though, feel free. Just taking some nice deep breaths. And then from there we're going to come and do some of our leg series. So I'm going to lie on my left hand side. You can choose which side you want to lie on, but today we're going to be on our forearm. Okay, so usually we'd be in our traditional position using our arm as a pillow. Today we're going to have forearm down, elbow underneath shoulder. Left leg's going to be at the front of that mat. Right leg's going to be nice and straight down. Now just do a bit of self-check here because I'm not there to check on you. What I don't want to see is this. We are not watching TV. We are lifting up, we've got that nice line. We've engaged our tummy muscles, our obliques. So from there, this top hand can either be pivoting on the floor for a bit of support. We could have it on our hip, or our next level is to have it on our forehead, you choose. So we're going to lift and lower that top leg. Now if I'm looking dead forward, I cannot see my foot in my peripheral vision. And that's what I'd like you all to attempt here, is not to see that foot in that peripheral vision. Take it nice and slow. Hold that leg at the top. Can we do some circles, but maybe a little bit bigger than we usually do? Change direction. Hold that leg nice and straight. We're going to flex that right foot. Exhale, bring the leg forward. Point the foot. Inhale, take it back to straight. Flex. Exhale forward. Point. Inhale back. Now if it's too much to have the point and flex of that foot, you can just take that out. Trying where possible to not let the hips go back. Even I sometimes need to just do a little bit of a check. Let's take that foot back right to the back corner of that mat. Can we do some more lifts and lowers? Hold. Bring the knee into the chest. Extend the leg. Slowly take it to the back corner. So we're doing our bicycle. So on this one I like to have my hand down just because I don't want to teeter-totter over and fall back. Remember, we're still lifted out of that shoulder. Let's change direction. Take the leg back, forward, bend the knee, back, forward, bend the knee. Hold. Let's put that back leg at the back corner of the mat, just rest it down for a second. We're now going to attempt to lift and lower both legs. Yes, both. So we lift and lower. It may not be the biggest lift in the world, but I guarantee you're going to feel it. All in that hip area. Hold at the top. Let's do some swim. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, nice and slow and controlled. Relax a second. Take that right leg and bring it over the front leg. So I've got my foot on the floor, knee bent. Okay, now if you struggle with this, feel free to have it behind, but I like it in front. We're going to flex that bottom leg. Lift and lower that bottom leg for me. Get a bit of inner thigh action going. Hold at the top. Take the leg back a bit, then forward. Back a bit, then forward. And release. Beautiful. Let's go to the other side. I'll just twizzle around. So we've got the right forearm down now, right leg at the bottom, left leg nice and long for me. Okay, we're going to do that self-check. We've not fallen into the shoulder, we're nice and lifted. And we're going to start to lift and lower that top leg for me. Really think about squeezing shoulder blades a little bit if you can. Remember, you can have hand on hip or forehead or on the floor. Hold that leg at the top. Let's do some circles, maybe a little bit bigger than we're used to doing. Just challenge ourselves today. Change direction. Hold there, flex that foot, bring it forward, point, inhale back to straight. Flex, exhale forward, point, inhale back. Flex, forward, point, back. Hold it at that back corner and we lift and lower. Now be careful not to push the ribs forward. We're just going for our natural movement of our leg. Beautiful, bend that knee in, come forward, take it round. I like a hand down on this one. And then change direction. Hold that leg at the back corner, just rest it down for a second. And we're going to try and lift and lower both legs. Again, you're really going to feel that in that top hip and on the inner thigh of that bottom leg. And relax. Left leg comes over the top if you can, flexing that bottom right foot. And we're going to lift and lower bottom leg. Be really careful where possible not to sickle the foot, because what happens is the mind wants you to lift that leg, so it says, okay, we're going to sickle. Really think about keeping that foot nice and straight. Hold there, forward and back. And relax, beautiful. Come up into your rest position. Just taking a little bit of time, relax that out. Some nice deep breaths. Beautiful. From there, let's come into our 4-point tabletop position. So hands and knees for me. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to take our left leg back, right arm forward. We're going to inhale, lift,
Exhale, replace, switch sides. Inhale, lift. Exhale, replace, change sides. Remember, where possible, we're not lifting that leg too high, because if we lift it too high, we start looking like a dog having a wee. We want to keep that hip down. Leg in line with the bottom and the back. One more each side. And just relax a second, maybe push back into that rest position. Give that back a little bit of a wiggle side to side. Coming back into our 4-point tabletop, we're going to do our usual progression here. So you can choose a couple of things here. You can either keep alternating sides if you want, or you can take your left leg back, right arm forward and just lift and lower to tap down each side. Or hold at the top. Exhale, hug elbow and knee in. Inhale, take it out. So we're putting all that concentration onto one side. So you choose your option here. Which one would you like to do today? And release, let's change sides. So again, just because you can do it on one side doesn't mean you can necessarily do it on the other. It's nice to be equal, but I'd rather you just go for what makes you feel good today. And relax again, come into that rest position, take some deep breaths. Beautiful, last one on this series. I've given you a bit of a little bit longer off those wrists today in between sets. But come back into your tabletop position. If you can, left leg back, right arm forward. Options here. We're either going to lift up and tap the leg to the left and the arm to the right, and then bring it back up and down. Or if you fancy a challenge, we're going to hold up, inhale, take them out, exhale, back in. The challenge here is not to let that hip rise up, keeping everything nice and steady. Hold in the middle. Can we do some little lifts? Little inches up and down. And relax down for me, beautiful. Let's go through the side. Right leg, left arm. So again, you can tap up and down, or you can hold up and just go to the side and back to middle. And relax, brilliant. Coming back down again, rest position. I'm going to give you a little bit longer on this rest position again because we're going to be coming back onto those hands in a second. Okie dokie. So if you just all watch me a second, we've got a couple of options here. This next one is dependent on you being able to do a full plank. So if you're not comfortable with a full plank, we're going to do a modified plank, which is kind of like our press-up position, where it's this lovely diagonal. And you can hold this position stationary, and then when we begin to move, you can push back and forward. Okay, so that's your modified position here, pushing back, coming back forward. If you want a full plank, we're coming onto our toes and we're bending the knees, pushing back and then pouncing forward. So I'd really like you to think about your current fitness level and where you want to go with this. If you can usually hold a plank, give this full one a go, or do your modified one on your knees. So I don't mind which one you do, okay? So let's give it a go. I'm going to go for full plank today. And if possible, we're not lifting the bottom up. Imagine you're under a really low ceiling. Hold in that plank position. If you're in a full plank position, try rocking back and forth on just those heels, you know what I mean. Ball of the foot, that's the word I was going for. Pushing the heels back and down. And release down, perfect. So just giving those legs a bit of a stretch, it gets the heart rate up. Well done for giving it a go. And again, just taking some time. Nice breath in and out. Coming back onto hands and knees, we're going to do a few cat-cow now. So in our 4-point tabletop, exhale, we're going to round the back, pelvis under, head under, pushing the back up. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. Exhale, we round. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. Last one, exhale, round. Hold that angry cat position. Can we push our bottom towards our feet a little bit? Just getting a nice stretch. And back up for me. Perfect. Maybe just give that bottom a little bit of a wiggle side to side, your choice. Nice to get a bit of an opening in the bottom of that back. Brilliant, and then we'll just come to do our leg stretches now. Okay, so we're going to be on our knees near the back quarter of that mat.
Sorry, my husband's just arrived.
Take that right leg forward and lean forward into that right leg. So right knee over right ankle. Really feeling that nice stretch in that back hip. Just taking some nice deep breaths. If you'd like a bit of a deeper stretch, turn the toes underneath at the back. This is optional. And then you can lift that back knee up, trying to keep that leg as straight as you can, but you don't have to. Regardless of what position you're in, try and put your left hand down. If you've got your knee lifted, you can keep it lifted. Left hand down, right arm's going to lift, and you're going to try and look at your right hand for me. And if you can, as you inhale, take that right arm a bit further back, opening the chest. Exhale, centre. Inhale, push that arm back, open the chest. Exhale, centre, and then just come back round, lowering the knee if it was lifted, and just pushing the bottom back, lengthening that front leg. Now, if you need to be lifted, that's fine. If you can, coming down a little bit. And make sure we've not collapsed into that left hip. We don't want our bottom over to the left. We want to be nice and neutral. Let's just get a bit of dorsiflexion in that foot. So we're going to point the right toe, and then dorsiflex as if you were bringing your toes back towards your shin. So we're just pointing and flexing, maybe getting a bit more of a stretch down that calf. Beautiful, relax. A second, we're going to bend that right leg so it's a nice 90-degree angle. We're going to do our pigeon pose here. So we're taking that right foot over in front of the left knee, and then walking the hands forward so the knee comes into a diagonal from the foot. And then once you're there, you can slide that left leg back. If anyone doesn't want to do this position, feel free not to do it and you can just watch on this one. We're making sure that right foot is near left hip, right knee is at a nice diagonal position. And if you can't do it, feel free just to come out of it and we'll give it a go another day. And if you don't want to do it, feel free just to come into your rest position, just to give those arms a little bit of a break. Getting a nice stretch down our piriformis. If you have managed to get into this pigeon position, come onto your hands if you've gone onto your forearms. Put your right hand in front of you and try and take your left hand behind just to grab the left foot. And this is just giving your hip flexor a bit more of a stretch. And dependent on flexibility, you could always give it a bit of a pull in, but again, optional here, it doesn't have to be done. I like to keep my hips facing forward just to get a bit of an extra stretch. And release for me, beautiful. Come back onto all fours, and then we slowly come up. Left leg is now coming forward, we're leaning into that left leg. Knee over ankle. So we start off in this position, just getting a nice stretch down the right hip. Again, option here, turning the toes underneath at the right and lifting onto the toes. Lifting knee up, sinking a little bit lower if you can. And one of the ways you can hold this a bit easier is imagine you're squeezing something between your inner thighs. You need your inner thigh to activate here in order to get stability. No matter what option you've got, knee down, knee up, put the right hand down, lift the left arm up, have a look at those fingertips. As you inhale, take the arm back, open the chest, exhale, back to centre. Inhale, we take it back. Exhale, back to centre, coming back round, knee lowers if you had it lifted, taking bottom back, making sure we're nice and straight, and coming down if you wish. Feeling a nice stretch down the back of the leg. And if you need to, or want to, you can point and flex that front foot. I like to do this just to get a little bit of an extra stretch down my calf when it's flexed. Bringing that leg back up into that 90-degree angle, taking the right foot over, left foot over to the right, and walking that left knee forward, and sinking back, lengthening that right leg back if you're ready. So left foot near right hip, left knee at a lovely diagonal from there, feeling that lovely stretch down the bottom and into the leg. Just taking some nice deep breaths. If you've gone onto your forearms, feel free to come back up, putting the left hand in front, taking the right arm behind and trying to grab that right foot, keeping hips facing forward. And if you have the flexibility, feel free to give that foot a bit of a pull in. Nice stretch down the quad and hip flexor. Release that leg, and if you can, fall onto your left bum cheek and bring that right leg round to the front. Perfect. I'm just going to face you now so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put my feet together, opening my legs out to the side. Now they're not too close, it's more comfortable. I know some people will be like this and that's fine. Take your left hand and put it on your right knee and put your right hand just next to you for some support. Now what we're going to do is take an inhale and push that right knee down gently, attempting to not let that left leg lift. So we inhale, we push, and then just release on the exhale. Inhale, we push down. Exhale, we release it back up. So this is just a nice gentle mobilisation of those hips. Making sure you're actually grabbing the top of that right leg. Take your right hand a little bit further behind you and just come into a nice lumbar stretch, just looking over your right shoulder, so we're twisting that thoracic spine, that upper spine to the right. Coming back to middle, left hand on the floor now, right hand on the left knee. And we just inhale, push left leg down, and then let it come back up on the exhale. So again, some gentle mobilisation of those hips, trying not to let that right leg come up. Perfect. Holding right hand on left leg, left hand goes a bit further behind, we inhale and twist, just look over that shoulder. Holding there, taking some nice deep breaths. Coming back to centre, just holding on to the shins slightly, just lean forward. Get a little bit of space in that bottom back. Coming back onto your hands and knees for me. We're just going to do an elephant stretch, but you can take this out if you want. If you don't like it, that's not a problem. We're going to have hands under shoulders, take one leg back into a plank, then the other. Lift the hips up and attempt to come over, straightening that back. Now you can have bent knees if you want, or you can straighten them if you fancy. Gazing between those hands, but again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. And just walking one heel up, then the other. Trying to get a little bit of space in those legs. And then if you can, just walk the hands in towards yourself. And then standing up just for a second. Feet in parallel. We're going to do our roll down. So chin down. Pelvis tucks under, and we're going to slowly roll down. And just hang there at the bottom, maybe rock the head side to side, just releasing any tension. You can always circle those arms at the bottom. Holding nice and still, bend the right knee, keep the left leg straight. And then switch, bend the left knee, keep the right leg straight. Straighten both legs for me. And slowly roll up through that spine. And when you're at the top, I'd just like you to lean over to your left hand side, bring your right arm overhead, and just reach towards that floor, just stretching the arm out, maybe doing a couple of circles. And then going the opposite way. So right arm comes down, left arm goes overhead, and we just do a few circles with that right arm. Coming back up, do a few shoulder rolls for me. And you are done. Thank you very much.